Welcome to our daily reflection for this Tuesday, February 25th. And today we continue on with these readings from the book of Sirach. And we saw that in the readings yesterday, especially the gospel, that faith is the question and trusting God totally. And all things are possible if we trust in God, right? Faith conquers all. Well, we know that we need to have faith in God, but here in the book of wisdom, as we begin chapter 2 of Sirach, which is a wonderful book. I encourage you to read the entire book of Sirach. And you can just choose one chapter a day and read it in a month. It's just it's a great book. It might take you more than a month, but that's all right. It's worth reading one chapter a day. It begins with, "My son, when you come to serve the Lord, prepare yourself for trials, because God gives trials to those he loves." Why? Because he wants to torment us? No, because he wants to purify us. He wants to make us, if he really loves us, which he does, he wants to conform us to his son. And that is going to take trial indeed. And so, for that, we're going to need to be steadfast. But he gives a formula here, if we read it carefully. We need to incline our ear and listen to his word, right? And with his word, we have to also then wait and be patient and accept then, abandonment to divine providence, accept his will, whatever befalls us. For in fire gold and silver is tested, and worthy people in the crucible of what? Humiliation. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to come up short. We need to be bold if we're going to serve God, and we need to risk. And that's what the saints do. The saints are not afraid of failing. They are afraid of not giving in their all and not trying great things for the sake of God. That's the difference between a saint and us. A saint is afraid of not trying to do great things to do God's will. And we are afraid to try and fail. And so that's a very different thing. And then you have this great word, so these words, these verses in Sirach are so precious and worth following closely. Trust in God and he will help you. Trust in him and he will direct your way. And then it talks about wait for his mercy, trust in him, and your reward will not be lost. And then it goes into the theme of, okay, that trust is going to require hope. And we need to hope in God. And for those who love him, we will hope in him, right? And that's important. And then it tells us to do a little Bible study, reflect on salvation history and in the past. Has anybody hoped in God and were disappointed, right? He is merciful. He forgives our sins. Hope in him. Trust in him. And then we get the reading of the gospel where Jesus will talk about the Son of Man going to Jerusalem, suffering and dying. And here we see Jesus lives the very word and exhortation and wisdom that he gives us. Jesus trusts the Father even to go through suffering, tribulation, and death. He knows the Father will raise him up on the last day. And so Jesus abandoned himself completely and totally to the will of the Father, even though that might mean, and will indeed mean, great suffering, great shame, and a horrific death. Jesus knows that if the Father allows that, he's going to bring a greater good out of it in the end and redeem him from death. Do you have that kind of faith? Jesus walks the walk. So Sirach gives us the talk. It talks the talk. Jesus in the gospel walks the walk. Now we are challenged to trust in him, no matter what trials may come. Let's be bold like the saints. May the Lord bless and keep you.
This daily reflection is brought to you thanks to the generous support of the Mission Circle. Join the Mission Circle to help Catholics worldwide understand, live, and share their faith. Sign up at missioncircle.org today.